Okay, now for our last item, we are going to do a stuffing, and instead of doing the traditional, which is usually onion, sometimes mushrooms, celery, Pepperidge Farm stuffing maybe, stuffing in a bag, stovetop stuffing, whatever, and all of it's good, especially the stovetop in a pinch. But we're going to do something a little different today, and what I decided to do was try to get some kind of interesting sausage. Sometimes you can get andouille sausage. I was able to find this really neat gourmet sausage in the grocery store that's made out of provolone and port wine. And it's a pork sausage, and it's in casing. And what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of just slit that casing open, and we're going to crumble that out of the casing, just like this, because you don't want your casing. And this has like a great smell. This is going to be a great sausage. And we're going to saute this in the pan, which means we're not going to need melted butter because we're going to get fat from this sausage, so we're not going to use melted butter at all, which a lot of times in most stuffing recipes you do. And I'm just going to make a small batch today. But basically, you can use a whole package of sausage with this, okay? And we're going to kind of just pat it down like this. And we're going to saute that. And before we do that, I'm going to add my onion. I'm just going to chop this in half and add a half of one right now, but you can add a whole. And this onion, just using like a golden onion, you can use a sweet Vidalia onion if you like. Okay, we're just going to chop it in half, chop it like so. This is a really nice sharp steak knife that works, or you can use a paring knife as long as it's nice and sharp. So that will be ready. And garlic. Where did my garlic go? Okay, I've got a nice big fat clove of garlic, about 2 cloves of garlic. And I'm just going to use part of this. Like I said, I'm making a small batch. And I'm going to chop this in small pieces. And now I see that my oven is at temperature, so my vegetables are roasting really nicely. And then one other thing I'm going to do, because I'm adding to this recipe, woo, that onion was strong, is I'm going to add a peeled apple. I've got a nice Cortland here. Love Cortlands for baking. And I'm going to peel this and just chop it and throw it in there for flavor. You don't have to do it, but you know, turkey, sausage and apple, whether it's turkey sausage, pork sausage, is delicious. And I've had it at brunch in quiches, and I've had it in egg bakes, and it just goes great together. And so I want some of that flavor. But that's going to be added after our sausage is browned. So we're going to go over to the stove here. It doesn't take very long to do this. And you know, it's going to cook again. I mean, it's going to cook more once you have it in your stuffing. Let's see if she can get a shot of that. Nice and close. Now I'm going to add my onion and my garlic, because I want that to cook in with the sausage juices. Browning it brings out the flavor, so it's always nice to do that. I know in most traditional stuffings, you don't really have to do that. You just kind of chop your vegetables, throw them in, and it cooks, and that's fine. But I really like the fact that the browning really brings out this flavor, and I'm going to cook this sausage just a little bit more, because I don't want it to be 100% raw when it goes in. It's going to get stuffed into the turkey, and I don't want it to be raw when it gets stuffed in, because the turkey cooks slowly. So just to be on the safe side. And I also hope everybody knows out there, if you make your stuffing ahead of time, that's fine, but do not stuff your turkey ahead of time. Put your stuffing in the refrigerator in a closed container and stuff it in the morning right when it's ready to go. Because this is how people have gotten into trouble with salmonella poisoning, is you do not stuff a turkey cavity ahead of time and let it sit. It is just not okay. And look at that. Now that's really nice. I'm going to turn the heat off on that. And I'm going to add my apples. The apples don't really have to be cooked because they're going to soften up very quickly in this. Okay, and we're going to bring it over. You can buy your breadcrumbs. I recommend don't buying them seasoned because we're going to season this ourselves. Like so. See, we've got the nice juice of the sausage in there. And if you felt like you wanted to, if you want it to be more moist, everybody's got their own way of doing stuffing. You can add a little hot water. But you want it to let it sit there and let it get moist on its own before you decide to do that. You can even add apple juice for that matter. Okay, I'm going to put a little salt. I'm going to put pepper. And the recommendation for this was a little bit of ginger powder. Just add some flavor. Oh, that smells great. I think that ginger's going really well with that sausage. I'll make sure that I have everything in there. And now I'm going to store it in a container for overnight. We'll be right back and we're going to check on our vegetables.